let's see if we can get Jeff or Dr. Chordate, as he is sometimes known, set up to present. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say we all wish you luck with this dissertation.
Thanks, I know I'm gonna need it.
At least in my experience. All right, so thanks. Jeff, I think I was hearing you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, I think.
I think you're here too. Are you going to sort of re-show us the slides that you are using, or do you just want to talk?
What would you prefer?
Whatever you like. So everyone who's not fully aware, Jeff did a video poster, so he pre-recorded a short talk, which hopefully you've had a chance to experience. And so he's not going to represent that whole thing. He's just going to field your questions about that and related to that. So should be lots of chances for asking him questions. So that's what we're doing in the next 15 minutes. But Jeff, if you want to refer back to those slides, you can share your screen. You don't have to if that complicates things.
Okay. I mean, I can, although I'm kind of on the road, so I don't have anything really specific prepared. But it's just that I'm not a teacher in the classroom, although I was in the education business for many years, sort of teaching teachers. But so that I do things which go outside the classroom to the adult community.
Jeff, this is Tiffany talking to you. I just want to say that if my kids are actually watching this right now, and can you tell us the title of your dung beetle song? Because I think that my kids probably can't see you, but kids, Jeff is one of the coolest hip guys I have met. And he has a great song that he can actually get you intrigued. If you can tell them the name of the dung beetle song, I'm certain that they'll go look it up. And then I have a question for you.
Okay, well, thank you for that intro. In your copious free time, you can be my agent.
Excellent.
The name of the dung beetle song is the Dung Beetle Song. Not particularly creative, I suppose.
How do you come up with this stuff, Jeff?
And that is not yet on YouTube, although I could, if somebody is truly interested, I can send a copy or a link to the score to that, or the melody line and lyrics.
Yeah, definitely. We have a question from Walter, and it says, can you talk more about exactly how you use songs in the adult education classes? Is it just songs, or do you have a supporting lesson, for example, like on a PowerPoint that you do it, or is it just the songs?
Right, I see Walter's
Sorry,
question.
Guys, can I cut in for just a sec? Sorry,
yeah.
Jeff deserves a brief intro like all the other speakers, so I just wanted to introduce him. This is Jeff, known as Dr. Chordate, because I believe, he's never confirmed this to me, but he actually has a doctoral degree in zoology. So I assume that's kind of how he came up with the name. He's been at this for a long time, that is using music to teach science. In fact, he was one of the co-founders of the Science Songwriters Association back in 1998 or 1999. We met at an NSTA conference in Reno, like 3 or 4 of us, and got this little organization going. Sadly, it no longer exists, but it was an early and fun and possibly influential attempt to do what Voices and Smiles are doing now. So I've known Jeff ever since then, and it's been fun to get his lens on teaching through music. So with that, I will stop interrupting and let you field the question from Walter.
Right, and Greg has slept in my basement. So
True.
to address Walter's question, I don't really generally approach an adult education class with science learning objectives in mind, but rather more that, science can be fun and interesting, and it can be, you can use music to illustrate scientific things, but it's mainly that I see something in the news that piques my interest, and I say, I think I can make a song out of that. And sometimes it goes the other direction. That is, I see something in I see something in a scientific journal. One of the things I saw recently was that people in rural areas sometimes mispronounce the disease spinal meningitis as smiling mighty Jesus. And why you would ever go to your doctor under any circumstances, rural or otherwise, and say something like, I think I got this smiling mighty Jesus thing in my back. Can you give me a pill or something? But I said, I think I can make a song out of that. And it turned into a church choir song, but it was still, making a connection there between something that I find interesting and something I think other people will find interesting. And so I have a wide range of songs that, for example, could be used with an Audubon Society meeting, like I've Seen Every Bird, or the Turkey Vulture Song, or some other, My Goose, My Gander. Anyway, there's several songs just to address something like the Audubon Society. Okay, I don't know if that got to Walter's question or not, but so like Greg said, I started in this, I don't know, 25 years ago, because at my day job, they didn't give me enough to occupy the full 8 hours. And so I started idling away the time writing songs. And the first one was because a few years earlier, I had been doing research in the liver physiology lab at the University of Missouri School of Medicine. And we used to answer the phone with something like the liver physiology lab. We have 50 ways to love your liver. And so that was my first song.
Jeff, have you always worked with adults, or have you had any other experience with sort of non-traditional students?
Well, I did supplement my income as being a substitute teacher for a couple of years, and that was probably the worst experience of my life. And but since then, with my own 2 children, they helped me write a number of my early science songs when they were roughly middle school age, and I would go to their school and sing songs for the middle school classes.
Okay.
But basically, it's been the older, because I don't write songs for primary schools, which has been an issue when I've gone to the libraries and so on and said, no, bring me in to do some science songs. Oh, well, we have time for 2s on Thursday afternoons. How's that? And I said, well, no 2-year-old will get this.
Right. Yeah. It's still fun, though, I'm certain.
Well, I suppose, but they're not going to appreciate the Newton's 3 laws of motions or things like that. So.
Right.
Okay, so how do I know if people have looked at the poster or not?
I don't, Greg, can you answer that by chance? Greg may have stepped away. I don't know. Jeff, just a quick thing. My AP Chem students are wondering, is there a way to find your Dung Beetle song? They're looking for it. Is it by chance on YouTube?
No, it has not been recorded for YouTube yet. I will have to, if you can, well, I have your email address. I can just, I've posted I have the link to the lyrics and the melody line on my
We
website.
would love to Skype with you sometime and learn about dung beetles.
Okay. Sure. And, once again, that was just a song that I don't know. I guess I just thought dung beetles needed a song written about them. I really don't remember what stimulated that.
Jeff, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Greg.
Okay, so to answer your question, oh, another amazing pun from Larry Lesser in the chat window.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I don't think we can really tell if people have viewed your video poster or not. We're just depending on them to type in their questions. And we have another one from Walter here. Which of your songs do you feel has been the most instructional / inspiring? And you might have answers to those, two different adjectives. Which of your songs has been the most instructional? Which has been the most inspiring?
Yes, I'll type the answer to Walter here in a minute. Although I assume he's listening to this. That my Turkey Vulture song is the most popular. If I've done a show and haven't done the Turkey Vulture song in it for one reason or another, then generally somebody in the audience will ask for the Turkey Vulture song as an encore. It was used by a naturalist in Texas as the music to a video that he made about turkey vultures, which is had about 22,000 YouTube or views on YouTube, and that naturalist was Kenneth Cram, Kramm. And so I guess that's the most popular one that I have. It's sort of reminiscent of the Dung Beetle song, and that, I am just a poor bird and my story's seldom told, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. And some of the songs that I have done, well, it's all a roll of the dice, what other people will think is fun and interesting. That the biochemistry operetta, I think, was my best work as far as use of words and so on, but it's not. Hasn't. Well, it takes 7 people to sing it, and I don't have a recording of it on YouTube.
Let's see. Jeff, I was thinking a little more about this idea that, 2-year-olds aren't going to appreciate Newton's laws of motion, fair enough. One of my best friends in the whole world, Dew Peterson, he wrote this highly technical album about his biostatistics dissertation. And of course, kids didn't get it at all in the sense of understanding the content, but he nevertheless felt that it was great to give children, even young children, a sense that science was fun and worth singing about. Do you do you have any thoughts about that? Like maybe singing to kids sort of somewhat over their head is okay, just to give them that sense of we're having fun together, exploring some science words and enjoying the sound of science words as they roll off the tongue?
Yeah, well, I maybe backtrack some of what I said, or at least the impression that what I said. There's a preschool at our church that I go by, once or twice a week just to play with the kids, and they range in age from 3 to 5, and they all know big words like apatosaurus and tyrannosaurus and triceratops and stegosaurus and so on. And so it's not that they can't understand big words and associate them with a particular thing. And so sure that singing, not, you don't want to sing down to young kids necessarily. And so singing things that have a vocabulary that they may not be familiar with is not necessarily bad, that they can learn those words. And
all right, Johnny Berliner is also saying things similarly in the chat window. Any quick final questions for Jeff? We have like another minute before we're turning it over to Johnny.
Right, Johnny makes a good point there that you hear those words, they're buried somewhere deep in your brain. You hear them again under different circumstances, and you can say, yeah, I know, I've heard that, I know that. That's it's a window into the opportunity to have a teachable moment.
All right, Jeff, you have 30 seconds for a closing thought if you want.
Okay. Let's see. I am just a poor bird, and my story's seldom told. For they say that vultures have no virtues to behold. And no one wants to hear about a bird that eats carcasses of roadkill dogs and deer. They'd rather hear about a meadowlark because they're pretty and they sing. Winter's over, spring is here.
All right.
Woo!
Thank you.
Nicely done, Jeff. I was hoping that you were actually going to sing for me. I love it. And I'll get in touch with you about the Dung Beetle song. And I mean that. We're going to Skype.
Okay.